The title to this video is from Pema Chodron, the American Tibetan Buddhist and teacher, someone I really admire and whose teachings inspire me always. I've experienced this to be so true that nothing goes away until we get the lesson, because it keeps showing up time and time again in our lives. Because I work with clients who keep bumping into the same obstacles in relationships, from falling for emotionally unavailable partners to continually getting involved in the emotional rescue operations, it leaves them feeling disempowered, empty, and longing for love. Used to be the same for me, because repeating the pattern of being drawn to emotionally unavailable partners was exactly what I did in my early years. I just kept repeating that pattern of getting into relationships with men who weren't in any way emotionally available. And it happened again and again and again. And I kept asking myself why I was so unlucky. It was only when, at the devastation of a partner ending our relationship and me hitting rock bottom, that I realized I needed to dig deeper and look inside to work out what was happening, to break out of that repetitive pattern I'd developed. So with the support of a relationship coach, I started to look at the choices I'd made in my life, and then also the beliefs that were driving these choices. It was not a pretty sight. I discovered that my feelings of self-worth were so low that unconsciously I didn't feel that I deserved a committed or an emotionally available partner. Digging deeper still, I learned that my acceptance of the crumbs of love, rather than the overflowing feast of connection that I craved, came from the way in which I'd experienced and observed love and relationships growing up in my early childhood years. So as soon as I lifted that lid and looked inside and started doing the work to shift my habits and patterns, this is when everything started to change in a positive way. A conscious decision to reclaim my sense of self was my journey out of those rigid ruts of the old thought patterns. And it started with me putting time into getting to know myself. I wasn't getting to know the version of me that I'd been trained into believing was the real me, but the fully embodied, fully feeling, fully alive version that I'd repressed for so long. It was the real me that was buried underneath the habits I developed that helped me survive my affection-hungry early years. So as I got to know myself and got full clarity on my values, my needs, my desires, my boundaries, things really started to click into place. It was like an inner reset. I had higher expectations out of life, and I felt that I deserved love. And as a result, those emotionally unavailable men were suddenly no longer interesting to me. They just didn't register on my radar. Through the conscious work of addressing the source of my old patterns, those old patterns lost their power over me. The key to great relationships is embracing the challenges. I've learned that my emotions are powerful messengers. I'm no longer afraid of the emotions as I used to label them as negative. The anger, the fear, the boredom, the confusion. They're now all fully welcome in my vocabulary and in my daily experiences, as I use them as guiding signals to help me to interpret my way around the world. In relationships, when I feel a little nagging feeling of irritation, I no longer try to fix the outside problem by trying to change the other person or get them to understand my point of view. Instead, I look inwards. I interpret the irritation as a sign of a minor boundary break or a signal that something is amiss, and I embrace the challenge of sitting in a little bit of discomfort and looking inward and ask myself, what's really going on here? What do I need? What don't I want to see? Or what can I change to address this irritation? The pearly wisdom built up around the habit of embracing an irritation tells me exactly what I need to do. Rather than being buried or suppressed, the challenge teaches me what it needs me to know, and then I no longer battle with the same challenge again. I've learned what healthy love looks like. So the unhealthy, emotionally restrictive, crumb-like love went away. I encourage you to look at the patterns in your life that aren't serving you. Dig deeper. There is so much wisdom to be uncovered in the valuable introspection as we work on ourselves.